The way that people feel having been in your presence matters. So I wholeheartedly believe that if you're a leader who cares about the performance of your organization, then you must care about what you are doing personally to acquire the skills necessary to help you with important things like building trusting relationships, motivating your teams, having those difficult conversations with empathy, navigating change and uncertainty, and so much more. I'm Sylvia Baffour, and I have a passion for helping people and organizations achieve peak performance. And I like to do this with emotional intelligence strategies. When I think about leadership, I think about the idea that if you are a leader, you have a complicated job. Because you're dealing with people, and people are complex beings. Emotional intelligence is indeed the currency of the 21st century. And this means that gone are the days when people spend 10, 20, 30 years in the same job, in the same career and profession. And it's important for leaders to understand that when you spend time and energy ensuring that the people who you serve feel valued, feel seen, feel appreciated, they will stay with you, they will be your brand ambassadors. So it's so critical for leaders of the future to think about how important it is to bring emotional intelligence into the forefront of everything they do. Being self-aware, managing their emotions in those most difficult times, and then putting themselves in the shoes of others to try to imagine what it might be like for others that they're working with. Many years ago, I encountered an unexpected, life-changing moment when my dorm mates sat me down in my school in Zimbabwe and shared with me some really negative impressions they had of me based on our interactions together. And while this revelation was blindsiding and most certainly heartbreaking to hear, it only served to strengthen my desire to be a positive impact in the spaces that I moved through. Now, I knew that I had to figure out what skill sets I was going to need to embrace to help me minimize the gap between the way I intend to be experienced and the way people actually experience me. And ever since then, I've tried to focus my energy on becoming the kind of person who allows others to feel seen and feel valued. There are 3 channels that I use to put my emotional intelligence work out into the world: through my book, through my keynote presentations, and through my coaching and consulting services. So much of what I speak about on stage and write about, I brought into my coaching and consulting practice. I have the opportunity to work with leaders and those they lead, and do that through my Dare to Care EI framework. Now, this is a framework filled with particular tools and strategies that I walk clients through to help them scale up their self-understanding, manage their emotional impact, find ways to cultivate flexibility and resilience in their workspaces, and also deepen their connection to others, which is at the heart of productive and meaningful and functional relationships. And that leads to people working better together as a team with less dysfunction, more collaboration, and more connection. When I was 22 years old, I had the treasured opportunity to be mentored by Dr. Maya Angelou. And in those 13 years, I got a chance to see her in action. In my eyes, she was a living, breathing example of emotional intelligence. In fact, there's a realization that she had that she's actually most remembered by now. And it was something she said that is filled with emotional intelligence. And it said simply that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. In later years, this became something that I call your emotional aftertaste. Because the way that people feel having been in your presence, it ought to matter. People who are really emotionally intelligent understand the power that they have to influence how sweet that emotional aftertaste is. I take all of the inspiration that I got from Maya Angelou into my work today in helping people to use strategies to increase their self-awareness and the way they manage their emotions and use them to work for them and not against them, and the way they step into the shoes of others to empathize and connect more deeply with other human beings around them. You cannot be an effective leader if you're simply relying on your intellectual ability. As the saying goes, emotions drive people, and it is people that drive performance. I look forward to taking organizations to a place where they have a sustainable workforce that is excited to show up every day and serve those in their charge. When those I coach are better able to use their emotions to work for them and not against them, embrace change productively, navigate conflict successfully, and just function better as a team, I feel like my work has been of value.